It is a low-yield, deep underground military base. It's not military. Whack-a-nut base, basically. It's buried about 500 feet underground. It is a long runway underground. It's about 3 miles long. It's got 2,700 prison cells in it. There's a track on either side of it. Food and shower facilities are all on, they're kind of like individual cars on tracks, and they service each prisoner. You get to change your clothes once a week, you get a shower once a week, no television, no nothing, totally underground, minimum lighting facilities. If you talk, you are beaten senselessly. 2,700 federal prisoners are in it right now, the worst of the worst. I don't know about you folks. I learned an old song in church. The vilest offender who truly believes a pardon in Jesus is quickly received. I don't believe we or anybody else in these United States has the right to torture anybody. I don't care if they're a murderer, a rapist, or anything else. We should basically get rid of these kind of individuals. But if we do have the guts and maybe a little bit of fortitude to kind of hope that, well, I don't want murder on my hands, and we imprison them, I don't believe this is the way. Question?
A comment. It appears that we're way past the 2-year voting cycle to stop what's happening right now.
Well, like I said before, start forming cells, enclaves. I hate to say this, enclave has a peculiar nasty overtone to it. But start forming enclaves, start talking to people, talk your head off. Talk your head off because your life depends on it. I'm not asking you to do what I'm doing. I'm asking you to risk your life for these United States like I am doing. Question over here.
You give out your internet address?
The fact that
Yes, I'll give you my address.
these beings are alien in that they come from other planets. Otherwise, we have the theory of being extraterrestrial. Have you in all your studies ever tried to determine whether or not there was an alternative answer? Rather than being extraterrestrial, are they extra-dimensional? And if so, what have you discovered and what authority can you mount to be able to show that as a possibility?
Okay, let's take one thing at a time here. Extra-dimensional, they could very easily be. Al Bielek will probably tell you about that in his talk. When we blew up the A-bomb tests, and later the A-bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and all the other tests that took place, we basically opened up a hole in time. And the reason I know this is Al Bielek told me, if you look in an early 1953 Life magazine, you'll find a picture of an A-bomb, and there's a round mushroom cloud, and through the mushroom cloud you can see black space with stars. Unfortunately, those stars don't add up to any known stars in our view. And so Al Bielek was telling me, yeah, that opened up another dimension. And Life magazine almost lost its license to print. But yeah, you're right there. Your other questions, some of which I can or cannot answer. Right now, as much information as I have, I like to say I'm a scientist, but I think that's got a kind of a bad connotation anymore. But anyway, as a scientist, I like to say that in all my studies, I have every reason to believe outer space aliens are another form, another tool, another system of technology to enslave the wonderful people of the United States of America and the world under a one-world government. And this scenario occurred in Nazi Germany and is now occurring in the United States, and it's got to go. Otherwise, we're going to go. Next question over here.
Now, what's the reason for the base?
Pretty obviously, to take all the 129 dump bases, right now there's actually 131 of them. Take 129 or 131 dump bases, 10% of them, roughly 14 of them, the largest. They're all cities underground. There's high-speed railways, magneto-leviton trains that attain Mach 2, and Al Bielek will tell you about this in his talk. He's seen them, actually been on one of them. I've seen the tunnels, I've never been on the train. He'll tell you that also that these can house great numbers of people. Well, I'll tell you exactly how many numbers of people. Could get a 106 million man standing army, fully equipped with all the food, water, and provisions for 2 years underground, or however long it took to suffer out a nuclear war or whatever kind of ugly scenario. And that would be enough to defeat anybody in the United States. By the way, there's no place to hide anymore. Black helicopters, and there's so many of them. Not just black ones, I'm talking about military helicopters in general too. They have detection devices. If you got something buried like a cache of weapons or diamonds or gold or money or whatever underground, they've seen it already, guaranteed. They can detect you in an airport. I want to blow this one by you too, because this is a nice little tidbit. Right now, if you're carrying more than $1,000 in your pocket, most of us don't, and some of us do, carrying $1,000 or more in your pocket, you are perceived as being an enemy of the United States and or a drug dealer, and you can be arrested immediately in any airport in the United States of America. By the way, if you look at your money, your 50, 100s, 20s, 10s, 5s, whatnot, and even the 1s now, you'll find there's a little thread in there. If you look at it, like on a $100 bill, it'll say 100, and it'll have a little number and 100, 100, 100, and $100 marks all the way on both sides. It's a little, kind of like a little thing that tells you that the beast is still there. We don't do anything about it, folks. The beast is going to claim us. Every one of us. Okay, question? Any more? Okay. Okay, the underground prisoners right now, they're using the worst of the federal prisoners and the worst of, yeah, criminals. That's correct. And that's pretty obvious. You add up if you add up 143 per car, multiplied by 107,200, multiplied by 11 general contractors, each with a similar contract, you're going to come up with a figure that exceeds 15 million. 15 million is the number of patriots in America, number of concerned people in America, and also a number of people that could cause the federal government harm in America today, right now. I'm saying our federal government blew up Oklahoma without question. Clearly proven. First of all, what did it? If you look in the pictures of the explosion, you'll find there is a large block taken out near the elevator shaft, and there's a smaller explosion. By the way, a nitrate explosive has a maximum capacity of 20 kips worth of pressure per square inch. A kip is kilotons of pressure, 1,000 tons. So 20,000 tons of pressure per square inch, maximum. If you had the whole truck totally packed. Wow. By the way, the federal building in Oklahoma City had some pretty strong girders in it. Girders and pillars and stuff like that. The average federal building, especially a new one like this one, has a tensile strength of 200,000 kips. The only thing to tear it apart like that is either a nuclear weapon or a thermite charged shape charge explosive. Right now, the only thermite charge explosives in these United States are military operated, and they're housed at Mather Air Force Base in California, near Sacramento. Yes?
I read there were 2 explosions still, 8 seconds apart.
I wasn't really aware of that, but if there were 2 explosions, I would assume that one was either a reverberant explosion or it was an atmospheric explosion.
It's on the seismograph at the university. It wasn't an echo.
I'd have to look at it.
It's on the back of the sheet I just handed you.
Really? Okay.
Right there.
Okay. And this is the second explosion, is that correct?
Right, they're both on there. Right together. They're right together.
Mm-hmm. Well, the truck bomb shows an explosion, once again with no P wave, but it has a scalar wave to it. Could have been a scalar weapon, electromagnetic weapon of some sort. The train explosion, once again, also has it does have a P wave, but doesn't have an N wave. Therefore, it too must be a device.
No, that's the train that's going by the university.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It's going kind of by the
All right.
I heard the director being interviewed, and he said the same thing. There were 2 explosions, and they asked him if it could have been inside, and he said...
Well, this one here that says truck bomb.
No, that's not the bomb. That's a truck ride by the university.
No, this, okay. It says, oh, truck and bomb, I see, okay. The one that's, the 2 that are marked bomb, once again, have the configuration, it's called the squared sine wave configuration, or Crazy Ivan as the Navy calls it. Squared sine wave with no P wave, it would have to be a mechanical device, without question. I could prove that, but it'd be kind of boring laying the figures out. Okay, another question? Yes, ma'am.
How do you respond to Christians who are apathetic about saying it's all prophesied in the Bible anyway, the New World Order, the mark of the beast, and, I want Jesus to come anyway, so, why fight it? How do you respond to that?
Prudence. What you know best to be. Pray about it. Prayer. That's the only prudence around worth saving. Next.
This lady here is
Okay.
Is it true, do you know, is there anything about this over 49 that are behind this past colonies on Mars?
It's quite a possibility because, for instance, the New World Order and the elite, as we call it, built and funded Hubble telescope. Remember also that telescope, the one that orbited Mars, was supposedly shut down. That was another lie, total lie. Took detailed photographs, totally mapped the planet. I've seen some of the photographs. The face on Mars is a reality. There, at one time there was a civilization. That's been proven. Computer enhancement photograph, and it was broken down by a supercomputer and proved it to be a intelligent made device rather than a hunk of rock with a funny shadow on it that NASA told us. Another lie. Once again, you have to remember it. These people cannot tell the truth. In days past, they were called the sons of Belial, the ones that could not tell the truth. We have to consider them our enemy. Next, this fellow. Yes, they do have bases on Mars.
Have you heard of that possibly these rays are part of the experiments which our government are doing under base of making the synthetic, all these creatures, but perhaps they're manufactured?
No, sir, I can tell you right now that's not so. They have a copper oxide for a blood, similar to an octopus, a cephalopod, or an insect, or a spider. Another thing is their chromosomal structure is totally different. Their cellular structure is totally different. No, sir, that's not true at all.